The U.S. president claims a trade deal has been struck.
It's going to be a wonderful deal, hopefully a wonderful deal for everybody.
As details are hammered out, Trump also says Keystone XL could be revived.
Let's just get her done.
Plus, a cannabis facility near High River goes up in smoke.
It's devastating. We know a lot of their staff. We're very close to them. We've built heavy relationships with them.
Hundreds of kilos of pot and the entire business lost. And he's a ballroom dance star who's also got some smooth moves on the track.
Some skills that I gained from dance helped me in hurdles, and then some skills that I learned from hurdles helped me in dance.
A Calgary teen who shifts his fancy footwork between two very different disciplines.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. After Canada and the U.S. have struck a last-minute deal to pause new 50% tariffs, it remains unclear what both sides have specifically agreed to. While Donald Trump is boasting about it, Prime Minister Mark Carney will only say the agreement reinforces the Canadian advantage. CTV's senior political correspondent Michael Couture has the latest now from Washington.
After an intense week of negotiations, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and his American counterpart emerged shoulder to shoulder, happy with the deal they've reached.
We've reached an agreement that will not only continue to protect American workers, American jobs, American supply chains, but really strengthen the North American economy and create a situation where North America will continue to be an energy powerhouse.
Three sources tell CTV News there are reductions in the Section 232 tariffs on the table as part of the agreement. Those would affect industries like steel and aluminum.
We may bring some of the tariffs down to a level where other countries are, because Canada was paying a higher tariff.
U.S. President Donald Trump proudly posted about the agreement, adding this AI image about the resurrection of the Keystone XL pipeline. Trump has also long complained about American access to Canada's supply-managed dairy sector.
The tariffs will be non-existent for our farmers. Our farmers were paying tremendous tariffs into Canada, and those tariffs are going to be totally eviscerated, down to zero.
LeBlanc tried to reassure reporters that the decades-old system isn't disappearing.
The Prime Minister was very clear. We needed to protect supply management. We needed to ensure that the supply management regime remained entirely intact, and I'm confident that that's the case.
The Prime Minister was less clear on social media, posting that the deal is, quote, securing the best terms in each of Canada's most important strategic sectors and providing greater certainty about our future trading relationship. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he hopes Carney stuck to his word.
That's what he promised, an even better deal than we had before. To me, that should mean no tariffs on steel, aluminum, autos, lumber, and an exemption to Buy America.
While few details have been made public, Dominic LeBlanc has returned to Ottawa, and the Prime Minister is briefing his cabinet as well as the premiers this afternoon. Michael Couture, CTV News, Washington.
So Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston is the first to speak out tonight after that virtual meeting with the Prime Minister. Speaking in Banff late this afternoon, he says he's pretty happy with everything he's heard so far, and he confirms the PM did ask premiers to return U.S. booze to shelves.
The Prime Minister has asked us as premiers, as provinces, to return the U.S. alcohol to the shelves. So we'll work through that process. There's been an ask from the federal government that the provinces, in addition to the alcohol and other stuff, that the provinces don't have anything in their procurement policies that specifically excludes the United States.
Alberta and Saskatchewan are the only two provinces currently selling U.S. alcohol. Now, President Trump is also hinting he may revive a long-abandoned pipeline project that starts right here in Alberta. Tim Brooke joins us with more on that. And Tim, the Keystone XL expansion was originally proposed back in 2008.
Well, in the 18 years since then, Tara, this project has seen a number of political, economic, even permitting problems in the almost 2 decades since it was first announced. In fact, as of just yesterday morning, it seemed like the proposed route had been abandoned and the proponent was focused on some other projects. Well, now we can tell you because of these new trade talks, there's reason to believe the original Keystone XL pipeline might get built after all. The U.S. president wasn't saying much about the Keystone XL pipeline Wednesday.
We had a very good conversation with the Prime Minister last night, and we've come to a deal with Canada.
But Tuesday night on his Truth Social, Donald Trump hinted the project, killed by previous Democrat American administrations, could be back from the grave.
One of the best ways to deal with President Trump's aggression against the Canadian economy is to give him a win, which is also a win for Canada, and that would be a big pipeline going south.
When he was premier, Jason Kenney gave a loan guarantee and committed taxpayer equity to jumpstart XL construction. After the permit was revoked, it left Alberta taxpayers holding a $1.3 billion bag.
Ideally, I would have liked to see this done while I was premier, but you know what? We got a lot of it built. We paved the way. So let's build on that. Let's not just leave that pipe stuck in the ground. It's there. Let's finish the damn project.
The expansion would carry Canadian crude from Hardisty, Alberta to the Gulf Coast. Trump says he's always been on board.
And of course, we saw how the president was willing to invade, frankly, Venezuela over energy. So this has always been a priority.
And experts say the project should be relatively easy to bring online and fill. Some work has already started.
Southbow, which is the company that owns it now, has already entered into an agreement with the American company, Bridger, to revive it. They've already had what we call an open season, where producers contract out a portion of the pipeline. That was very successful, up to 550,000 barrels, and they plan a final investment decision next year.
If built, the Keystone expansion could potentially increase crude exports to the U.S. by more than 12%. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta's premier turned down an interview request today, but sent a statement saying she is always in discussions with industry to support pipeline expansion and construction opportunities. Southbow did not respond to our inquiries. Fire crews near High River tackled a massive structure fire at a cannabis distribution facility as it went up in smoke early this morning. No one was injured, but the impact is being felt across the local cannabis industry. Tyson Fedor reports.
These photos show a cannabis warehouse up in flames early Wednesday morning near High River.
They did try to do a quick interior attack, but it was too hot, too much flame, so they stuck strictly to defensive operations.
The aftermath, facility and business completely lost.
It's going to be a very hard thing to recover from. I feel for them more than anything in the world because that would be such a hard day.
Ariel Freeman runs the Chinook Cannabis shop in High River. She says her store and the Grass Monkeys premium craft cannabis warehouse have worked together to supply product.
We've been working with Grass Monkeys for about 2 years now, so it's devastating. We know a lot of their staff. We're very close to them. We've built heavy relationships with them.
Fire crews from Foothills County, High River, Okotoks, and Diamond Valley attended the blaze in the hamlet of Alderside along 82nd Street East around 5:45 Wednesday morning. The intense odor of marijuana filled the air. The blaze was challenging for firefighters to attack.
The fire itself is quite contained within the steel structure, so it's very difficult to fight. Obviously, water has always been an issue out this area. And with our being a rural response, we got firefighters coming from different communities, so the response time is delayed here compared to the city.
Inside, hundreds of kilos of pot that only further added to the combustion. Excavators were seen tearing down the remnants of the facility so crews could access hotspots.
It will impact a lot of people because we don't know how those workers will be able to branch back out into the cannabis industry, which heartbreaks us all.
A cause is still under investigation. No injuries were reported.
And Tyson joins us from Alderside tonight. Tyson, there is certainly not much remaining behind you there, but you did speak with the owner today.
And Tara, he tells me he's absolutely devastated just looking at the rubble that remains behind me. He has no words to describe exactly how he's feeling other than he's gutted for his employees who are now all out of work. Grass Monkeys operated at this facility behind me for the last 5 years. So they were licensed with the AGLC, and they supplied to many customers throughout southern Alberta and into Saskatchewan was the hope. But at this time, they say that the cannabis that they were offering was to medicinal markets along with recreational users, rather. And at this time, Tara, it's unclear whether or not the owner will rebuild in the future.
Okay, Tyson, thank you. A new study shows the debate over Alberta separation has become a prime target for foreign influence. Researchers tracking the discussion have found Russian and American campaigns are trying to stoke division. It's something the Premier has concerns with too. Jordan Canagan reports.
2 months ahead of a referendum on whether to explore Alberta separation, the debate has gone far beyond Canadian borders.
Well, it's very clear that there is foreign interference.
Researchers at the University of Regina are using artificial intelligence to scan and analyze thousands of websites and social media, specifically tracking the separation debate. They found Russian-based sites attempting to shape the narrative.
Their goal is to have us start to turn on each other, is to no longer see someone who disagrees with you as someone who has a different opinion, who still cares about the country, but is actually an enemy of the country and is no longer, is sort of anti-Canadian.
Cypher AI found American influence is also present in the debate, trying to fuel disagreement ahead of the October 19th vote.
Some people pretend to be part of grassroots movements and they try to promote certain issues, but in reality, they actually belong either to a nation state or some groups that have some kind of invested interest in creating divisions.
Alberta's Premier says she's been briefed by both CSIS and the RCMP, and there's been nothing criminal so far, but, quote, we are seeing influence campaigns that appear to be amplified by bot farms that may have a link to Russia. Smith told Omni TV Albertans need to be vigilant so that they're not inadvertently amplifying a message that is being used to interfere in our contest.
And so our effort is basically to identify and point that out in the sort of narratives and even the sources of those in order to be able to ensure that Canadians can have difficult conversations and that democratic dialogue.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Researchers tracking the discussion expect to see online disinformation ramp up even more ahead of the October vote. Elections Alberta is looking to other provinces now to fill a shortage of workers needed to oversee the October referendum. 60,000 poll supervisors, ballot box clerks, scrutineers, and other workers are needed. Elections Alberta has received applications for just over half that number. Parts of southern Alberta and all of northern Alberta are significantly short of applicants.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A little overcast out there, but still warm. Danielle joins us now. How's our evening ahead looking?
Well, there's a couple things you need to know for tonight. Yes, it's stable. We just have a couple cloudy periods out there right now, so nothing happening at the moment. But around the midnight hour, there will be some shower and thunderstorm development. We do have a smaller chance of seeing it in Calgary, a much greater chance to the east, so Chestermere, Strathmore, and down the Trans-Canada. That's around the midnight hour. 25 degrees right now. Head for a walk. Enjoy this because it's absolutely fantastic out there right now. The winds are calm. The air quality is great. Another thing for tomorrow is we'll likely get a little smokier once again and pop back up to moderate on that air quality health index because we're going to get a push of air from BC and that will carry in some smoke. 15 degrees, mainly sunny throughout much of the day, but by 3 in the afternoon, that's when the risk of thunderstorms kicks in and it will be waves of it. So we have a chance in the early afternoon hours, then we have a chance once again through the supper hours, and then a chance in the evening and overnight hours. With the humidity tomorrow, it will feel like 26, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. An American tourist who's off-leash encounter with her dog and a bear will have to pay a fine. Brooke Koski pleaded guilty to having a dog off-leash in Banff National Park. The video of her encounter with a grizzly was posted a month ago. Both the prosecution and the defense made a joint submission for a $1,500 fine, which was accepted by a justice in Canmore. They agreed that Koski had a lapse in judgment and had no intention of injuring wildlife. Thousands of school-age kids will be heading back to class with a backpack filled with all the essentials. This is a big operation. Hundreds of volunteers packed the TELUS Convention Centre today to load up thousands of backpacks with school supplies, snacks, personal care items, and gift cards. This is the 7th annual Calgary Police Foundation's Backpack Drive. It supports Indigenous and marginalized students across Calgary. Organizers say demand for the backpacks is growing. They say even with increasing financial pressures, their donors continue to be very generous.
So to see everybody still come together and give what they have to make ourselves a better community and show our youth that the community are there, they're behind them, and they're investing in their future is incredible.
In 2020, so just 6 years ago, the drive started out with 350 backpacks. This year, nearly 4,400 backpacks will be filled and handed out before the start of the school year. Still to come, new details on the possible Canada-U.S. trade deal. Impacted industries are watching closely. We'll hear from the key industry that Canada's trade minister is promising to protect. And the Kids Help Phone teams up with South Centre Mall to remind youth it's okay to reach out if you need support. We'll tell you how a letter to your future self might help. Back to our top story now, a trade deal between Canada and the U.S. Both the President and the Prime Minister say they're close. But what one industry insiders might consider a win could be construed as a loss in another industry. CTV senior correspondent Judy Trin reports on the trepidation ahead of the new deadline.
Our farmers are going to be thrilled. Our manufacturers are going to be thrilled. And basically, we have no tariffs going into Canada.
There's no doubt Donald Trump likes to win, prompting Canadians to wonder what they could lose. Giving Americans bigger quotas of milk and cheese could chip away at protections for Canada's 9,000 dairy farms.
It will become irrelevant because there will be so much milk entering from every other country that supply management will no longer work. So it's our worry right now.
We are asking the federal government to work for a reduction of the tariffs that are being applied, and we also avoid any new tariffs and also make sure that there is a review.
There are some signs tariffs on automobiles could be reduced. Auto parts manufacturers are hoping the U.S. understands that cars partly made in Canada are de facto American vehicles.
And remind the Americans that a General Motors pickup truck in Oshawa with 50% U.S. content and 60% U.S. steel in it is as much an American car as the one that's made in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
Singular bow. Meanwhile, small businesses like Victoire Boutique, which sells Canadian-made jewelry and clothes to American customers online, are breathing a sigh of relief. It appears a deal may stave off Trump's new 50% tariffs on $28 billion of Canadian goods.
We want to support our industry. We want to make things easier for our customers and not fall into the trap of thinking this is a normal way of operating.
Right now, there's cautious optimism, but until Friday's deadline passes and there's a signed document, there won't be any certainty. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast.
Yeah, and we've had stable weather for the last 2 days, a good amount of heat for the last 2 days. We'll cool down a little bit tomorrow, but the main reason is because we'll likely have showers and thunderstorms that will break the heat a little bit. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. It's a different day tomorrow. 25 degrees is our high so far in the city, also our current temperature. It's also 25 in Banff, 27 in Brooks, 29 in Medicine Hat. And in all of these communities, you can basically tack on another degree or two because it does feel a little warmer with that humidity that we have in place. All right, so we have the heat, we have the humidity. The winds, though, have been fairly calm. We maxed out around 43 kilometers per hour in Pincher Creek. All other communities outside of that, not really showing a lot of gusty action here. Medicine Hat 48 was the max. And in Calgary and Lethbridge, we could pick up into those 40s throughout these next few hours, and then it will die down in the overnight hours. All right, let's talk about radar and satellite. Nothing going on right now, but by the midnight hour, there will be a couple things sparking up, and I'll show you that in just a second on the Futurecast. But let's talk air quality because we've had a really good day. We've been low on the air quality health index for pretty much all of southern Alberta. On the BC side, though, there is the air quality warning in place, and that will remain in place for another day or so. They have poor air quality there. We've had better air quality here, but we're going to get a flow out of the west. And that's going to carry in some smoke that's been circling up into BC from Washington State and the fires in BC as well. So it's going to push a little bit of smoke into southern Alberta. So we'll likely pop up to the moderate level on the air quality health index. It shouldn't be too bad, but moderate, 4, 5, potentially even 6 at times for tomorrow. So a little smokier as we get these winds pushing in, especially Calgary, less likely to see it in the far south. All right, when we talk about active weather, tomorrow will be an active day. In fact, some of these storm cells will reach the more severe level. We have the heat, we have the humidity, lots of other ingredients in place for tomorrow that the severe storms are certainly possible, which means that larger size hail, the stronger wind gusts, the bigger downpours. As we get into the midnight hours, so tonight, around midnight, there will be a couple things sparking up. It doesn't look very intense, likely just isolated showers with some weak thunderstorms. Calgary up to Airdrie, smaller chance of seeing it, a greater chance to see it towards Chestermere, for example, Strathmore and down the Trans-Canada. And early in the morning, around 4 a.m., the potential of seeing that in Medicine Hat. Then tomorrow, we're going to get waves of thunderstorm activity along Huey 2 and Highway 2, Calgary included in this. So there'll be development after 3 p.m., development around the supper hours, and then again tomorrow night. So here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. 24 is our high for tomorrow, certainly a risk of thunderstorms, but stable for Friday and Saturday. And as you can see, temperatures climbing to the high 20s.
South Centre Mall is partnering with Kids Help Phone to ease kids back to school. The First Day Starts Here initiative encourages youth to look ahead. Today at South Centre, students had the opportunity to write a message to their future selves and reflect on their goals, challenges, and experiences. Their letters will be mailed to them next June so they can then look back at their school year.
As we know, back to school can bring up a whole lot of emotions. Some people might be excited, other people might be nervous. There might be fears about us maybe seeing a bully or academic pressure. And so we want young people to know that Kids Help Phone is always here, always open, and always free.
Text support requests at night are up 183% compared to those received during the day. More than 1,500 crisis volunteers are available to make sure someone is always there. If you need help, go to kidshelpphone.ca. Security has been beefed up at a Calgary Culture Centre. It comes after someone made threats and police had to be dispatched. We'll have the details. And later, a Calgary teen shows off his talent on the dance floor and the track. The two-event teen representing Canada. That's still to come. Dashmesh Culture Centre is stepping up security after receiving a bizarre threat over the weekend. A caller to the centre said heavy equipment was on the way to demolish the Sikh temple. It was full of people at the time taking part in services and community events. The call was cut off, but the same person called back on another number to make the same threat. Police were called and they came to the centre immediately. Management says it was alarming, but they're open and they're welcoming to all people.
There are certain pockets that we have to work as a community to engage and, speak about these things. If there are issues, that's our job as everyone to come together. And if someone's maybe not comfortable understanding the role of the community or this facility, if it's welcoming. Anyone's welcome anytime, any place to come here. And we welcome Calgarians to visit and to engage in conversation.
Singh says overheated rhetoric on social media seems to be fueling these incidents, but he says the caller is welcome to come to Dashmesh to learn more about the Sikh community. Police are asking for help finding a woman wanted for fraud and money laundering. Investigators say two people hired Mitchell Landry through Facebook Marketplace. He is accused of agreeing to do work, collecting 50% of the payment, and then never starting the project. Police say the 35-year-old uses the name Mitch Ryan online and operates under the company names The Deck Experts and Silverado Lawn and Snow. Neither company is an Alberta registered business. Following a preliminary hearing, a Calgary police officer charged with murder is going to trial. Constable Craig Stothard was charged after two people in a van were shot dead following a slow-speed pursuit in 2023. He's facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. The 52-year-old is currently on leave from the Calgary Police Service. 2 male youth are facing several charges after fleeing from police on electric dirt bikes. The incident happened shortly before 1:30 Tuesday morning. Police responded to reports of 3 people performing stunts on electric dirt bikes. A pursuit started around West Springs School, where the 3 riders fled from police. 2 of the riders were arrested after being tracked by a helicopter. Both are now facing charges of dangerous operation of a vehicle and flight from police.
We see groups that actually are trying to gather and openly flaunt that they can run from the police on these vehicles. Luckily, in the city of Calgary, we're seeing a very small element that's not being well received from that. But in other communities, they're not. They're seeing larger groups wanting to do this. So, like I said, we're concerned about the people that are operating these for their own safety. We're concerned about the public as a whole.
Police are still searching for the third rider. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Well, some days on the job, you just can't win, but almost anything can be survived as long as you keep your sense of humor. Our trending videos are next. It doesn't take long watching ballroom dancers to learn they are also very much athletes. So when an 18-year-old Calgary dancer wanted to build strength and stamina, he turned to track and field. Now he's represented Canada on the world stage in both disciplines, and his coaches are helping him go even further. Here's Kevin Fleming.
He's been on the dance floor since he was 6 years old, competing in ballroom dance. Now Patrick Bushko is a 9-time Canadian national champion at 18, and he enjoys being on stage and in the spotlight.
I feel like I look very posh in a sense, but I always say like the ooey gooey feeling inside when you're about to compete. And it's just like, it's like the engine ready to go and turn on and just be able to, like, I guess, make people happy.
Michael Radko coaches Patrick and his new partner, Mariana Ravello, in a number of disciplines in the sport.
It's a ballroom and Latin. These are like two divisions. So Latin dances and ballroom. Ballroom waltz, tango waltz, Venus waltz, foxtrot. Latin dances such as cha-cha-cha, rumba, samba, jive, paso doble. And I think Patrick's favorite dance is samba. Same as mine.
Patrick was looking for a way to build strength and turned to track and field, and his coach put him in hurdles where he excelled.
I'd get my conditioning and then I'd get my dancing in, but then they'd both complement each other because some skills that I gained from dance helped me in hurdles, and then some skills that I learned from hurdles helped me in dance.
After only about a year in the sport, Patrick headed to Eugene, Oregon earlier this summer for the World Athletics U20 Championships, where he won silver.
I think one of the big things that I saw from Patrick immediately was his elasticity. I don't think I've ever seen an athlete be quite that elastic, quite so snappy. So I do think there's a genetic component to that, but also what he's developed through his dance.
Danny Marlin says Patrick is calm entering a race and not nervous, likely because of his time in the spotlight dancing.
I think with the tools that he's developed in this space with the dancing, as well as what he started to learn through track, if he stays committed to that path, I can see big things happening for him.
Both coaches say Patrick's commitment is impressive and he's always striving to be better. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Bushko is heading to the University of Calgary in the fall, but he says aside from his studies, of course, he wants to take part in both sports and go as far as he can to represent Canada on the world stage. That's pretty impressive. Wow.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for him. All right, well, a dog is making waves in Southern California with an impressive mid-surf maneuver.
No way.
Oh.
Okay, the dog's name is Sweet. He's only 5 months old. She was surfing with her owner in Malibu Sunday when their board collided with another surfer. Sweet didn't fall off. Sweet just very quickly jumped onto the other surfboard. That's impressive.
Cool, calm, collected.
Yes.
No problem.
She's been surfing since she was 8 weeks old. So
wow.
It's kind of her thing, Glenn.
That dog is cooler than all three of us.
Yes,
we can
combined.
say.
Yes.
Need some sunglasses
Very
out there, and they're really cool.
Well, the suspect behind a middle school fire is not who you would expect.
Oh, boy.
An escaped snake is to blame for the blaze at a school in Virginia. So this is last week. Crews arrived on the scene. They found water flowing from the second floor. There was fire, there was smoke. As they made entry into the classroom, they were greeted by an 8-foot python.
Yowza.
They figured it out. They say the snake knocked over a heat lamp and set the school on fire.
That sneaky snake.
Snake's been a problem since it was a kid.
Yeah, he's got an attitude.
I mean, really, you know?
Yeah.
I thought he really didn't want to do his exam.
No. Maybe he was working with the kids, and they were like, "We won't have to go back to school if you set the school on fire."
Always looking for trouble, always.
Well, finally, we're going to laugh at someone else's expense now, but even he admits it was pretty funny.
And I could just feel my hand slip, and as soon as it slipped, I don't remember anything after that.
Carter Sampson's day at the frozen custard stand took a turn. He fumbled the vat of custard mix, and it resulted in a spectacular splatter. It has gone viral, as you might imagine. He says he's okay with the internet infamy because sometimes you just gotta laugh and move on.
See, now all the mistakes are so public, though. Everything's caught on camera.
Yeah, that's true.
But really, when something like that happens, what are you going to do? It's like,
good for him to have fun with it, though, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
it's
laugh.
Like nothing you can do now.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Some optimism in the fight against cancer to tell you about. A biotech company claims positive trial results for a personalized cancer vaccine. That news sent the stock prices soaring. Our details are just ahead.
All right, your Skywatch weather camera. And while the air quality is good here, a couple viewers have sent some notes in from Banff saying it's getting pretty smoky there. So yes, it's starting to filter into Alberta now. 25 degrees is the temperature in the city. That's also today's daytime high. Normal's 22, so we're above normal. We're going to be above normal for the rest of this week. We have a lot of heat. In fact, we're going to get into the high 20s for the next couple of days in the city. It's 25 in Banff, 25 in Calgary, 28 in Lethbridge, and 29 in Medicine Hat. You can tack on a couple degrees for how it actually feels with that humidity. Nothing going on satellite and radar at the moment, but by the midnight hour, there will be some development, likely just east of Calgary, but we could even see a bit of that in Calgary, which means the potential for overnight thunderstorms tonight, especially east of the city and down the Trans-Canada. All right, here's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. And 15 degrees to kick off tomorrow morning. It will be a nice start to the day. Early afternoon looks nice, but by 3 in the afternoon, that's when the risk of thunderstorms starts to kick in. And there will be waves of thunderstorms throughout southern Alberta, so waves in the afternoon, then again around those supper hours, and then again tomorrow night. And some of these storms could reach the more severe level with that larger size hail and the stronger wind gusts and the bigger downpours. With the humidity, it will feel closer to 26, so it will be a hot one. All right, so cooler tomorrow, but hotter after tomorrow, that's for sure. And in fact, hot Kamloops, 34 for tomorrow, 34 as well for Kelowna, 24 in through the Red Deer area, 25 in Coronation, again, Olds and South, especially along QE2 and Highway 2. We have the risk of thunderstorms. Lethbridge looking at a high of 29 for tomorrow.
Fire has destroyed a licensed cannabis distribution facility near High River. Hundreds of kilograms of dried cannabis was inside, adding to the combustion. No one was hurt, and the cause remains under investigation. New research shows Alberta's separation debate is a target for foreign interests spreading disinformation in Russia and the U.S. A study by the University of Regina and Cypher AI is tracking online content related to separatism. And Donald Trump is hinting the Keystone XL pipeline could be revived as part of a new pending trade deal between Canada and the U.S. The project was killed by previous Democrat administrations. So we have heard from the pundits and the politicians. What about the people? How do Canadians and Americans feel about the developments in this trade war? CTV senior correspondent Heather Wright went to the Canada-U.S. border at Niagara Falls to get a sampling.
More than 20 million people visit Niagara Falls every year, tourists from around the world, as well as those from the two countries that share this landmark. So we stood on a corner in the tourist area, and it didn't take long to find Canadians and Americans with opinions on this trade war and the possible deal to end it.
I think the whole thing's kind of ridiculous. Like, we should have a good relationship with Canada.
I hope it's over, and I hope it doesn't happen again, but we've gone through this multiple times.
There was skepticism among many, not just about whether this deal will get done, but also whether U.S. President Donald Trump won't change his mind down the road.
He, goes one way one day, and then, 3 weeks later he goes, oh, well, that was the worst deal ever, and, so who knows what's going to happen.
With the cost of living high in both countries, some are hopeful a deal will ease at least some pressure on finances.
I mean, the price of everything has gone up, so yeah, we definitely would prefer if our government made some different choices.
And while some believe concessions are necessary,
we can get some middle term to end this battle.
Others want Canada to hold strong and not bow to unreasonable demands.
If it doesn't work for both of us, then let's not do it. We don't want to play this administration's game.
Elizabeth Wennick is worried that a deal could allow more products, some produced with lower standards, into this country.
We need to stand firm on all of our standards and keep them high.
And while a deal seems imminent, there are many Canadians here who would be fine if the government kept fighting to stand up for Canada's interests.
We can do better. We're Canadians. We have more power than we actually use.
For John Dickinson, he's just tired of the whole fight.
How about we just play like nice children in the sandbox instead of, well, I'm bigger than you and I'm just going to bully you. And that's all it is.
And while there is hope that this trade war will soon be over, many acknowledge that it's unlikely the tension between the two countries will end overnight. Heather Wright, CTV News, Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Shares of Moderna soared today after the biotech firm announced promising trial results for a cancer vaccine. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
The stock started the day at about $63 US. It ended the day at $174 US. So it ended the day up almost 177% on those positive results for the melanoma vaccine. Now, if approved, the treatment would be the first of a kind. The Moderna and Merck vaccine would be tailored for patients based on their unique tumors, and those who received it at trial lived longer without cancer returning or metastasizing. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.41 US. West Texas Intermediate up to 85.83 US a barrel. Western Canadian Select is down to 65.67, and the TSX gained 33 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
SpaceX has released video of the recovery of a part of its latest Starship prototype. It wound up floating in the Indian Ocean after the company's recent test flight. SpaceX has been working on how to return the upper aircraft to a controlled landing after flight. It is something that is crucial to the company's plans to eventually recover and reuse the vehicle. If so, it would drastically reduce launch costs. Richard Green is back in Calgary, the site of his first Tour Championship win. Glenn caught up with the defending champ at Canyon Meadows today. Stay with us for that. New video shows the progress being made at Calgary's new event center downtown. Time-lapse video shows the final layer of the roof is now in place on the west side of Scotia Place. Steel framing is being installed in the restaurant and the food hall. The arena is scheduled to open in time for the 2027 hockey season. It's Pro-Am time at the Rogers Charity Classic at the Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, it's a great way for teams to get to know these professional golfers.
Tara, great way to see those sweet swings up close and personal. Probably hear some pretty good stories from those pros, too. Defending champ Richard Green wasn't out there today. He was busy with the media obligations. Richard Green loves being back at the Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. It's the site of his first PGA Tour Champions victory. Green took down the field last year, finishing the three-day tournament at 18 under par.
This week is just a matter of trying to treat it like any other week and go out there and do my best. It's there's a little bit of extra expectation, obviously, from playing so well here over the last couple of years, and hopefully I can do it again. It'd be really nice to go out there and defend and put on a good show.
The 55-year-old Australian says picking up that first win on the Champions Tour was big for him.
Richard Green has got it dialed in this week. Builds your confidence to know that you can win out here amongst the guys that play on the Champions Tour, and it's pretty the elite of the elite, if you like, that are playing out here. So to win amongst these guys is pretty good for your confidence.
Green has yet to win again and says it's not easy winning on the Champions Tour. The competition is fierce every week.
Zach Johnson coming out early, he's confident, performing. Same with Stuart Sink. They've brought a game with them that is very hard to compete with. The older you get, it's harder and harder.
But that's why Green loves Canyon Meadows so much. The greens are true, and anyone can win at this event.
Richard Green, your winner at the Rogers Charity Classic.
It doesn't really advantage a longer hitter more so than a shorter hitter. It's sort of one of these courses where, someone can pop out and win. And so I think that's why I like it. It's a really good fair test across the board.
And they'll tee it up for real on Friday, crown the champ on Sunday. And the Rogers Charity Classic isn't the only big golf event going on in the province. The Mayfair Club in Edmonton hosting the CPKC Canadian Women's Open. There's 3 Canadians in the field, including Brooke Henderson, who's won this event twice. But Henderson knows competition will be fierce, as it always is. Players like 3-time champ Lydia Ko, always tough to beat.
I've been really able to use the energy and the atmosphere of all the fans that come out to support me. There's so much love and there's so much just positive energy from them, and I feel like I've been able to use that to my advantage a lot of the years.
Always special to come back to Canada, and hopefully I'll be able to draw back on the subconscious memories for me here this week.
The opening round starts tomorrow. Tournament wraps up on Sunday at the Mayfair. Well, it was a battle of Calgary at the Junior Ray Minto Cup last night. The Raiders up against the Mountaineers. The winner guarantees themselves a trip to the final. But the Mountaineers, they come out strong in this game. Up 1-0, they're on the power play. Caden Moon gets it over to Dexter Hannigan. What a shot there to beat Nathan Whittam. That makes it a 2-0 game. But the Raiders battle back down 2-1. Luke McNamara does it all by himself, and he rifles it past Tommy St. Louis. That even things up at 2 apiece. This was a real back-and-forth game. Raiders with a 4-3 lead. When they add to it on the power play, Cash Frieders to McNamara. That's his 3rd goal of the game, and the Raiders led 5-3. But this time the Mounties come back. They're on the power play here. Hannigan to Ben McLean in the middle. He scores. All of a sudden, we've got a 5-5 game late in the second. Now, game tied at 6. Andrew White to Bodie Twite. He beats St. Louis. 7-6 Raiders after 2. 3rd period we go. And once again, the Mountaineers will get back on even terms. Caden Yeaman with a tough angle, and he squeaks it through. Whittam were tied at 7 apiece, but just over a minute later, the Raiders regain the lead. Wyatt Vista from behind the net in front to Dylan Beliveau. He scores. That proves to be the game winner. The Raiders beat the Mountaineers 8-7, and they advance to the final. The Mountaineers back in action tonight as they will take on the Victoria Shamrocks. The winner of that game faces the Raiders in a best-of-3 final. Great lacrosse over at the Max Bell.
Lacrosse is so exciting to watch because it's so fast.
Good crowd there last night, too.
That's
Battle
awesome.
of Calgary. Love it.
Awesome.
Where's the ball?
Where is the ball? You got to keep your eye on it.
At all times.
Okay, how's our forecast?
Same idea, where's the ball? Because we're completely changing for tomorrow. So you really got to focus tomorrow, because not only are we in store for active weather, but potentially severe storms in southern Alberta and Calgary. Yes, there is that risk as well. So basically as early as 3 in the afternoon, we get into the chance of thunderstorms, and there will be waves of instability. So in the afternoon, throughout the supper hours, and then again in the evening and overnight hours. 24 degrees is the high. So tomorrow is a bit of a cool down, but then we get into the high 20s for Friday and Saturday. So some heat and stability builds in for Friday and Saturday. Okay, Ernie Crushell sent this in. This is taken in Okotoks, and this is like the cutest picture.
That is a great photo.
Right? Little babe trying to get, some relief from the heat. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.